Hey guys, how's it going? Stoutman coming back at you once again today, and for those who've been wondering where the hell I am, well, here I am. Long story short, it was the holidays, so I was taking a little bit of time off. Obviously, there's that, but in addition to that, I actually had eardrum surgery on this eardrum. For the past few months, actually, I have not been able to hear out of this ear because there was like a very big perforation in my eardrum, a tear in my eardrum. So, like 30% of it basically was just gone. I don't know what happened, what caused it. I literally have no idea because I don't listen to music very loud. I don't do anything that would cause that kind of thing to happen that you would think of as like being a danger to your eardrum. I don't do any of that stuff. So the fact that it happened was just really weird and odd, but I had to have surgery to have that repaired. I'm actually still healing from that now. It's like a 2 to 3 month process just so that you can hear again the way, hopefully, the way that you did before. That aside, like that's one of the reasons I haven't been doing videos was because I was healing from that and I just really didn't feel like it. But another reason was just I didn't have the drive really after I took the time off to heal from the surgery and the time off to celebrate the holidays and stuff like that. So yes, it's been like 3 4 weeks longer. I don't know, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I actually did a video, so I apologize that it's been so dang long, but yeah, I had my reasons. So, there. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a Kino Lorber order that I made. This is an order I actually made several weeks ago, but didn't get a chance to talk about it until now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the first thing that I got was The Undying Monster. Something I have never seen before, but I do want to see. It's a classic horror movie from back in the 40s, and it just seems interesting to me. I looked at like the trailer and everything, and it looked very interesting to me. I've heard very good things about it, so when I saw this went down to like $7 or $8 or something like that during the Kino Lorber sale, it was just a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, obviously, if you can get a Blu-ray of a classic old horror movie like this that has like really high ratings and is thought of by many people to be an excellent film, then yeah, take a chance on it for $7. It's not that much, you know what I mean? So I have high hopes for this one. I'm sure it will be very, very good. Next up, I finally decided to bite the bullet on Man on Fire, which I have the Denzel Washington movie or version of this, the remake, if you will. But I didn't even know at first when I first saw it that the Denzel Washington version was a remake. Now I do, obviously. But yeah, even after I found out that it was a remake, one thing I did not know was that this was on Blu-ray. For the longest time, I had no idea, and then I saw it in a Kino Lorber sale, and I was like, "Oh wow! I didn't even know that was on Blu-ray," And the price they had of that was like $12 or something like that in the sale. And I was like, that's all right, but I'm going to see if I can wait and maybe get a little bit cheaper. And sure enough, during their last sale, the one that I got all these titles from, they marked this down to like $8 or $9 or something like that. So I was like, you know what, that's a bit lower. That's a fair price to pay. And I went ahead and snagged this one up because I want to see where it all came from. I want to see what drove them to remake it. Why the movie was so well received. Why the movie was so popular that they felt like making a remake out of it with Denzel Washington, which I think a lot of people would agree is actually a very good movie. So if that movie is great, then the original's got to be even better. I can't wait to check that out. So yeah, Good stuff. Next up, I decided to pick up The Missouri Breaks, which stars Marlon Brando and Jack Nicholson. And the main reason that I got it, quite frankly, was to see Jack Nicholson in a Western, because I don't think I've ever seen Jack Nicholson in a Western before. So the very idea of him being in a Western movie, I didn't know. And so when I found that out, I was like, oh, he's in a Western movie? I should check that out. Saw the trailer for it, and I realized, oh, yeah, this guy, I mean, it just seems to me like, just from the few things I saw from the trailer, he's made for Westerns. What was he doing not doing Westerns all this time, you know? So, yeah, can't wait to check that out. And, of course, being able to see Marlon Brando in a Western as well sounds pretty interesting. From the trailer, I gathered that the concept for it was pretty interesting. So, I'm very hopeful with this one. Even though it's like a give or take kind of film, it's the kind of movie that you see a lot of people either love it or hate it. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't tell you my own thoughts. I'm just hoping that it is actually one that I love rather than hate, obviously. But this came to a pretty good price, so I decided to snag it because, well, it looks interesting. Next up, I decided to get Marty. This was one of the more expensive ones I got. I can't remember the exact price it was. But this is one that I've been wanting to pick up for a little while because I've heard so many good things about it. So many people tell me this is just like one of the best movies that's ever been made. And of course, Ernest Borgnine, you can really do no wrong when it comes to Ernest Borgnine. And I'm absolutely positive that he knocked this one out of the park because people keep talking about how great of a movie it is. And I saw the trailer for this one as well, and, well, you know, with these older movies, these trailers, some of them weren't necessarily, they didn't necessarily make trailers for the film. Just somebody went back and made a faux trailer for them, right? And in this case, there were actual trailers for it, but it's different from trailers that we see today, right? But regardless, just like some of the themes that I was seeing in the trailer, some of the elements of the story that I was seeing really struck me as something I might be interested in. So I definitely wanted to take a chance on this, not just because people said it was very good, but also because it seemed like something that I personally would really enjoy. So hoping to be surprised by this one, hoping this is a very, very good film because it looks like it, and I've heard so many good things about it. Next up, I got The Optimists with Peter Sellers. The main reason I got this is because it was like the lowest price Blu-ray on Kino Lorber. It was like $5. Like, I'm not even kidding. It was down to $5 freaking dollars. When you get to the point where something is $5 freaking dollars on Blu-ray, and it's a Kino release, and it's a Peter Sellers film, it's like, okay, I'll take a chance on that. To be fair, though, this is one that a lot of people have said is actually really good, right? It's got some pretty good ratings and everything. The main reason I held off on it personally, even though I knew it was out there and it had been on sale in previous Kino Lorber sales, the main reason I held off on buying it was just because after seeing the trailer, it seemed like something that I wouldn't necessarily be all that interested in. Now, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I do actually enjoy it. But either way, when you get to the point where you're paying $5 for something, like I always say, when it comes to movies on Blu-ray and you're paying $5, that's about the price you would pay to rent it back in the day at Blockbuster. If you were willing to pay that much to take a chance on something you didn't know whether or not you would like back in the day, just to rent it for a few days, if you're willing to pay that price back then, but you're not willing to pay that price to own it today, and it's a Kino Lorber release, like a specialty release, then I don't know, man. Something wrong there. Something wrong in the state of Denmark there, I gotta say it. But, yes, this looks pretty good. Don't know if it's something I'm going to love, but for $5, I decided to take a chance on it. Hopefully it lives up to the promise that I've seen for it. And then last but not least, the last thing I got was Alfred Hitchcock's Lifeboat, which, well, I mean, I don't want to say Alfred Hitchcock can do no wrong, but he is one of the best filmmakers in filmmaking history for a reason. And I looked up a trailer for this just to make sure, even though it's Alfred Hitchcock and you can pretty much rely on him no matter what. I looked up a trailer nonetheless, and yeah, like with pretty much all these, it looked really interesting. Just all the characters in the lifeboat seem to play off of one another, from what I can tell, very well. They're such completely different kinds of characters. It reminded me of all the great, like, Castaway kind of stories that I could think of, just seeing in the trailer, nonetheless. Like, I'm not even talking about seeing the movie yet. I haven't seen it yet. But just from the trailer alone, I could gather that the characters in the film were like played off of each other in the same way that the characters of Gilligan's Island played off of each other. Maybe not to the same kind of effect, like that's a comedic story, right? And this one does not appear, at least at first, to be comedic in any way. But like another thing I might compare it to in terms of just the characters playing off of each other well and being so different from one another and everything, being all cooped up on one location, would be the show Lost. Anybody remember Lost? It's been a while, I know, and a lot of people hated the way that one ended, but regardless of how it ended, regardless of what you think of the whole story, just in terms of the way that the characters were developed, the way that they played off of each other, I got the same kind of sense from this as I did from Lost, that they really developed these characters well, and there's a good reason to watch it, and it looks good, and can't wait to check it out. So yeah, glad to have this one in my collection. Can't wait to see what it's all about. But that is that. That's all that I got from Kino Lorber during this particular sale. So definitely glad to have gotten some pretty interesting titles. Some stuff that, I don't know if it's going to be any good, but it looked interesting, like the Missouri Breaks. And then some stuff I've heard really good things about, like Marty. Can't wait to check out. So, yeah, pretty good stuff all in all. Glad to have all those in my collection so that I can watch them, check them out. You know what I mean? Well, that is that for my first video back after the surgery, the eardrum surgery. So, yeah, let's see when I finally get around to editing this and posting it. Hopefully soon. Hopefully I don't put it off like a freaking moron. But anyways, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace.